My name is Kim, and I worked with LSH for 100 years already still. So I'm in charge of billing and payment to interpreters and translator. And glad to have you guys here today.
Great. And Kim is working with me on presenting this. So Kim is our billing expert. So let's go ahead and show the PowerPoint. I'll let you start it if you, I think you can. So
Yeah.
Welcome everybody again. Thank you all for coming. And we have a lot to cover, so we're going to just jump right into it. Thank you so much. This looks great. All right, so this is considered a new interpreter orientation, and first time, a couple times we did one, a few times in the past, but we're just going to start off by we're just excited to have you with us, and we can't wait to see you improve, because we have standards that we set, and I just wanted to let you know that our standards is because the reason we started this company was to improve the standard of community interpreting that was happening in Hawaii. And one of the reasons we started was because Queens came to me, as well as housing and some other people saying, Sue, you know who are good interpreters and who are not, and we do not. And we are just stuck with whoever they send us, and we really want you to start a company. I'm like, well, thanks a lot. And that's kind of how it started, because they know that I have a very high standard in interpreting. Oh, hi, Marnie. So that was one thing. So today we'll talk about that in a minute, but wait. So the introduction is to teach you some of these things on the agenda. And we're going to introduce ourselves, interpreter perks of becoming an interpreter, what's the good things about that, and new interpreter checklist. There is a checklist if you are new. We're going to just show you of that. You can read that on your own as well. But a daily task on what to do, how to do it, professionalism, but especially the FAQs about the payments and about LSP Ware, and then show you some resources. So great, we'll just jump into it. So just an overview, we're a locally owned company since 2010. There are other companies that have been in since the 80s, because they really needed interpreters. So they threw together some bilinguals, but there was no training at all. And so a couple of the other companies in town just really didn't know anything about training. And the training started in the later 90s, I would say, in the mid 90s, and then in the 2000s. And I was doing a lot of the training. And then I realized that sometimes I would train these older interpreters a couple different times, and they still would do some of it was hard to get. So then we started offering classes in at UH, some of you have taken, and now we're offering at KCC some of our classes. So I won't go into that right now, but I do want to say that now we have over 400 subcontractors, because interpreters are subcontractors. Wait, let's go back. I'll tell you when to go on, if that's okay. So the 400 subcontractors is not those who are used all the time. Sometimes next week we have a Hebrew. The other day we have a Malayalam, which you've probably never heard of, and then we have some that just are rare to use. And then some interpreters have moved on to the mainland, and they're not here anymore. They've left. So, but we have used over 400 interpreters, which is amazing. I would say on a monthly basis, we use about 150 to 200. And then there are over 200 languages. Now, some of our interpreters are certified conference interpreters. Some are certified medical interpreters, like I just introduced Xiaowei, and some are certified court interpreters. A few are there. And most of you have gone through training, and if not, you will be going through maybe personal training or some classes, like we said. Our clients, will show you, we have nonprofits, government agencies, schools. I would say 80% are medical. And so we had 5 pages of clients. I think we have over 500 clients. And these, I just took this is like from the first page right here. And so these are just a lot of different clients, and even the different places in the hospitals we call a client. So like fetal diagnostics is a client versus same Capulani Women's Center would be another client. So that's what we call clients, because sometimes it's just the billing. So I think I have probably another page of this. Oh, I see. The first one.
Yeah,
or
just 2
did you s-
pages. So,
I think, did you skip the first one then? Because you went
oh,
straight. to this.
so
Yeah.
this one, the first page, and this one,
There
the
you go.
second
That's the
one.
first, that's the first page. Nope, the first page is the other one. So there we go. So yeah, these are like in order of who uses us a lot. And I've skipped some of the bottom, but yeah, fetal diagnostics. Oh my, I think 5% of all of our jobs are at fetal diagnostics. So there's a lot of pregnant people and they need a lot of interpreters, and they all go to Capilati, I would say. But anyway, you can see that our top clients are mostly all medical. And then at the next page, you can see, well, here you can see non-medical starting at the next page. And then again, we have like 5 more pages of this, but I'm not going to show you. Okay. Okay, next. So our interpreter perks. Okay, being an interpreter, I will push you to the limit. I will push you and push you. And if you do a lot, and sometimes I'll call you, get you upset because I don't know, we heard some kind of comment about you and I need to talk to you directly, and that's okay. Please know that one of our code of ethics, you all should have read the code of ethics under professionalism. One of the last things it says, we will be open to evaluative feedback. The evaluative criticism. That means we want to grow in our skills. We want to get better and better and better. And we need to be open to that evaluation. So, and that also means that we can send somebody from our quality assurance team to watch you sometimes. When COVID hit, we kind of stopped it. We couldn't send anybody into to shadow you, but now we're starting to send people to be an observer as well, or maybe you can observe somebody, but they can also observe you. So evaluative feedback is important. Let's get our skills, really increase our note-taking techniques and increase our accuracy. And then the more experience you have, the better. And one day one day I got a call from the Joint Commission, which is the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and one other one. And there's something called the Joint Commission. And one of the heads called me and said, Sue, we need a Korean interpreter. The president is coming tomorrow from South Korea. And we didn't realize we need an interpreter. So you notice the arrow is pointing to Sekyong. That's one of our Korean interpreters. She sat behind him, took notes, and she's formally trained at UH. And so she did an amazing job. They talked about military stuff, but she was there. The head was in the white. And then this is the kind of opportunity that you may end up having. Also, there are non-medical things that some of you may be interested in, and that has to do with the legal world. And sometimes there's depositions and things from lawyers that pay a lot better. And so we usually pay according to your skills and how good you are. And if you have a lot of training in that area, et cetera, et cetera. But we really want to push you to get better and better. So they're a much higher rates. I think, she made a per diem, a per day charge. She had to go around with them and all this stuff. So anyway, all right, next. Okay, and here's some of our staff. These are just some of our staff that you may talk to. There's Felicia and Andrea and Christy and Leslie, and we have others who are not in here. Faith is not in this picture, but then we have Lauren and Jen and Kathy and Robert, and they're all in one office. And then we have all of the billing people and the billing staff and people who will email you with, Robert's really good at saying, where's your timesheet? We can't pay or invoice without your timesheet. So that's Robert. Okay, and then we have a whole billing staff. So next, that's just some of our staff. All right, so the new interpreter document checklist, I'm not sure if you have this, but we should send this to you if you don't, especially if you're new. But this is usually the documents that we're sending you. And it's like the W-9 form, the independent contractor, we are revising and we're trying to get that ready to go. And then the confidentiality agreement, most of you signed the code of ethics, direct deposit form, because I just want to tell you, every time we mail you something, there's just a chance it could get lost in the mail. And it's happened a number of times, especially for outer island people. So we really want to encourage you for the direct deposits. And the direct deposit form allows us to be able to deposit money, but we can't take out any money. So don't worry. We don't have the authority to do that. And it's our bank that deposited it, not us. We just tell the bank, hey, could you please give that person some money? And we'll talk about that later. And the TB clearance is annual. Annually, you need a TB clearance. That means you either have to go get that shot every year or have your doctor fill out a form that says they show no signs of TB, and that then you don't need an x-ray, you don't need any of that. And then we just need a copy of the results every year. The HIPAA training we have on board. I want to send it out to people, but HIPAA is very important because it talks about our the health, the confidentiality in the medical field. It's very, 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 very important because you could be sued for somehow telling somebody about some kind of patient information. My dog keeps wanting it. Somehow telling somebody about some patient information that you might have said without really covering your mouth, and somehow somebody heard about something and now they're telling the hospital. How I don't want this interpreter. Well, why not? Because she's telling everybody about this situation of mine, and like, what? And then all of a sudden we're going to get a phone call and they could sue us. Every breach of confidentiality could cost you $10,000. So there are laws on the books for this. So that's why confidentiality in the medical field is extremely important. The next one is GE license. We're not going to talk about that, but there is, you do need your own GE license. You need to be an independent contractor because our relationship with you is independent contractor. You are not our employee. Only our staff is our employee. The ones who answer the phones are our employees. But for interpreters, you can take a job or say no to a job because you are your own, you work for yourself. So please know that you work for yourself. If somebody asks you, what do? You say, I'm self-employed. Oh, what do you do? I'm a such and such interpreter. I'm a Chinese interpreter, but I'm self-employed. So if you ever have to fill out forms and they say, who do you work for? You don't write Language Services OIE. You write myself. I'm self-employed. I work for Sue Zhang. And that's what you write. All right. So this is something that some interpreters are having a difficult time grasping. But you have to know that you are responsible for your own taxes. You have to pay your own federal and income tax and stuff. And we're going to have a tax workshop not long from, we're going to have a tax workshop. We have somebody going to be giving that on how to pay GE taxes. And then the other one would be how to just tips for paying taxes at the end of the year as a self-employed person. Now, it could be a side job. You have a full-time job and this is a side job, or what some people call a side hustle. But it's good because then you can get a lot of write-offs that way by having your own company, you know, your phone and your internet and all of that. But today is not a tax workshop, so I'm just mentioning this to you. And if you want to know more about getting a GE tax license number, you can let me know, and I can send you a PowerPoint presentation. I think we need a copy of their ID and a photo. And the photo is because we want to make you an ID badge. If you have gone to a job without an ID badge, many times they will ask you, oh, do you have a badge? And many of my interpreters have told me that they ask, do you have a badge? And those of you who have gone for a while, please wear your badge. It's not about clashing, you know, just wear your badge because the hospitals ask us and they require a badge. They require our interpreters to wear a badge. So if you don't have one yet, please talk to the office and figure out when your badge will be ready. Okay. All right. And then that's what the picture is for. And it needs to be a digital picture, not a physical picture. All right. And then proof of COVID vaccination. I think that's no longer necessary. So we're not going to require that anymore. Okay. Very good. Kim, do you have anything you wanted to say about that one?
Nope.
All right, very good. Any questions about that? Anybody? You can just unmute yourself and ask. Okay, let's go to the daily task. Kim, did you want to talk about this? You want me to keep going?
So the most important thing you need when you accept job or you work with LSH is you need to know how to use LSP Ware Atrium. It's an app, or it can also be a portal that you can access on your laptop, computer, any electrical device. So it would help you with accept or decline a job offer from us. It show you the list of jobs that you have accepted, what date it is, what time it is, where it's going to be at. You can also use LSP to submit your timesheets and any other documents that you need to submit after you finish your job. So like parking receipts, etc. And you can check your payment summary, see what jobs we pay you for, how much we pay for each job. And if there's any discrepancy, you can contact us and, like, hey, this is wrong. Why did I got paid for this job? So for example, like that. So the LSP app is available for both the Android and iOS. You can just go to the correct app stores and download it, and you could see this logo. This is the logo for the app. When you search for it in the App Store, just make sure you download the correct thing. When you first sign in to LSP, we actually going to email you a temporary password that you can log in with. The email you use to log in is the email that you provided us with. So without further ado, let's see how LSP can help you with your daily tasks. So first, is how to accept or decline a job offer. There's actually 4 ways to accept or decline a job offer. The easiest way is via the LSP app, or the second one is via your email. So we will send you an email every time we offer you a job. You can open that email, click on accept or decline. And that would, if you accept it, you will receive a confirmation email with the timesheets. So you can print it out and bring it with you to the job. The third way you can accept or decline a job is through the LSP portal, which you can access on your laptop. And the fourth way is we also text. If you have a US phone number, then we can text you the job offer, and you can reply with a text whether you accept or decline the job. But most of our interpreter would use the LSP app to accept or decline a job, and let's see how we can do it. Do you want to show us with your phone, Sue, or should we play the video? Sue, do you want to use your phone to show the interpreters, or should we play the video?
Yeah, I'm talking and I'm muted. I apologize.
Okay, so let's play the
So
video then.
I have my phone in. I said I'm talking, but I was muted, and I apologize. So what I did is I sent myself, we can show the video, but I did send myself a request. So I wanted to show everybody how that looked like when you got your request. So why don't I share my phone?
Okay, stop sharing on my end.
Oh, okay, sounds good. All right, so, all right, everybody. So I'm going to share my phone and what I see. And I think that, again, a lot of you already know how to do this, but let me share my screen. You ever shared your screen on Zoom? Share. Okay, here we go. Share. Screen. Boom. Start now. Double click to enter full screen. I don't know what that means. Okay, let me go here. What is, oh, okay, here we go. I wonder if I have to click on something. Anyone ever done this with a cell phone? Is there something you have to click?
It says on my end that You had started sharing your screen, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I know. Let's see here. Get rid of all these things. Okay, sorry everybody. I've done this before. I'm just not sure why it's not showing. Started changing. Maybe it has yeah, I just don't know why. That's too bad. Let me see something. Oh, bummers. Okay. Huh. Oh. Double. All right. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's the problem. It says, yeah, it's just not sharing. It says that I'm sharing, but who knows, maybe I have to do so. It says stop sharing, reacting, leave, recording, Zoom, options. Yeah, I just don't know what the problem is. So let me try one more time. I'm going to stop sharing and then try to share one more time. Sorry, everybody. Okay, share, and then let me do it one more time. Screen. Start now. And I don't think it's the internet issue. Let me see. Okay, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's nothing I can do. Otherwise, we can just show the video. Let's just go to the
Yes.
video. Sorry, everybody. Okay, go ahead.
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
If I receive both the text request and the email, do I need to reply to both or just one of it?
That's a good question.
Just one is enough, because once you reply to us, either accept or decline the offer, is automatically block you from answering the offer and then sign. So yeah, once.
Let me
is enough.
explain. So once you accept it on one, your name will go into the system. Then if you use another way to try to accept it, it'll say, sorry, someone is already assigned.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
problem is it's you who've already assigned. And
Uh-huh.
so that's when you're going to have to call us and say, it says someone is assigned. And I'm like, you're assigned. So you must have
Okay.
accepted it a different way. So
Yeah.
please don't accept jobs twice.
Okay.
Yeah. And you
Good.
can always just look on your LSP Ware, and that's the best thing. So we're going to see this video that shows you the phone showing the LSP Ware. Okay. Good question. Can you make it big, Kim? I'm sorry. Can you pause it, please? And in the corner, it should be where you can make it big. There we go. And there's, wait, hold on. Sorry. Kim, you have to go to the more, M-O-R-E, on Zoom and say share sound. No, you have to start the sharing mode first.
Oh,
and
hold
then
on, sorry.
then
I need
put it
to
on
get back
pause.
to, yes, I need to get back to the,
Sorry, everybody.
I don't see more. It's just,
No, you will not show unless you share it. You have to share it first, put it on pause, and then you'll see the under more share sound. Yeah. And now go to more. You see a more?
yeah.
How did you get in this one? I can also show them our YouTube video and then I can play it from mine if you want to stop sharing. You want to do that?
Okay, so now I want to show you how to do this,
Very good.
how to use the Atrium app, because some of you are still having problems knowing how to upload your timesheet. So you notice when I open, it opens to something, it opens to this says open. And this open page means these are the jobs that I've been asked for, but I haven't responded to. So in this case, this is the job, and I would touch it, and then I could accept it or reject it. And in this case, I'm going to reject it. But don't you do that. Every one of you should accept it. And now it goes back to 0 open jobs because I've already rejected it. Now I'm going to look at the assignments, and I want to show you a few things about this app. Next to the assignments is submitted. And then over here is notifications, which they told me I had an open job. Now, submitted just means I've submitted all of my timesheets and everything's ready. And if I go on here, I can see all the jobs I've submitted that have not been paid for yet. And these jobs means that they were approved for payment. And so if I click on this, I can actually see the details. I can even go down to view tasks and I can see the times and actuals. I want to make sure parking is there, for example. Otherwise, you can let our office know if it's missing something. But now I want to first of all show you how to upload.
Okay, so I think that's how you accept the job. On this slide, which we will share with you later after today, this also have the step-by-step picture and demonstration of how you can accept or decline a job via the app, via the portal, or via email. So you can have something to refer to when you receive an offer and don't know how you can accept or decline it.
And there's also on your text message. Yeah, you also will get a text message. And there's something I want to say about that. The text message, there's 3 ways to accept it. And so you have to, yeah, and most people accept it via text. But just know that it says to accept this, it only has the address. It doesn't tell you any of the details. And the details is more in your app, has more details than your text message. But it's only until after you accept the job that you will see the name of the client that you're helping, the name of the limited English person that you're helping. And so please, after you accept the job, look at who you're interpreting for, because if you have a conflict of interest, you need to tell us immediately. Please don't look at the details, you know, like the day of the assignment. So when you accept the job, look on your LSP Ware and see who you're interpreting for. The other thing is when you're accepting a job on your phone as a text message, you can type the job number and a Y, and that will say, yes, I'm taking this job. So it'll be 111557Y. If you cannot take the job, please respond anyway. 1175 in is for no. So please respond with either yes or no. You know why? We do not send out jobs to multiple people at the same time. We send them out one by one. If you are available, we're going to wait on you to respond before we move to the next person. Well, guess what? Schedulers cannot do their job if you don't respond. If you say yes, their job is over. They love you. If you say no, then that means they have to go to the next person. But if you wait a day or 2 days, or you wait for them to call you, you've just wasted a whole, day or 2 of the scheduler's time. So please respond with a yes or no. And again, job number Y is yes, job number N is no. If you make a mistake, just call us. Okay, that would help the schedulers and they'll fall in love with you. Karen. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
For the,
Oh, I'm sorry, Janora, could you unmute yourself again? I tried to mute myself and I muted you.
sorry. So for the, how long does the schedulers
Yeah, you were breaking up, but I know what you said. How long do the schedulers wait? It depends on when
Yes.
the job is. If the job is pretty immediate, if it's tomorrow or today or this afternoon, they try to look at your schedule to see if you're in a job and then wait till you're done with that job. And then so it just depends on how urgent it is. If it's 2 weeks out, they'll just send it and forget about it.
Thank you.
Good question. Excellent question.
And I also want to add that regardless of how you accept the job, you will receive, if you accept yes, you will receive a confirmation email from us in your inbox, which will have so if you open this, there's a link that you can click on to open and view your timesheet and also print the timesheet out. So please check your inbox after you accept a job to see if there is a timesheet confirmation email. And if you can access the email on that, access your timesheet on that email. You cannot print your timesheet from the app or from your text message. You can only print your timesheet from your email or from the LSP portal. So that's the two ways that you can access your timesheet for a job. Okay, and what you should do next after you receive your timesheet is to check it. And there's a couple things that we want to communicate about timesheets. Always, always, always read your timesheets carefully, at least a day before you do the job, because there's a lot of information that you need to understand, and maybe you have some questions that you want us to verify with the client. So read the timesheet and see if you have any question. Call LSH immediately and let us help you prepare for the job like that.
And if something looks awkward, ask us, because we type this in manually and we make errors. So sometimes we make mistakes. And a lot of you know, one of the common mistakes is putting, 4 a.m. instead of p.m. And you're like, what? I have to be there at 4 a.m. in the morning? No, that's an error on the scheduler's problem. So please ask and call us and say, hey guys, is this 4 a.m. in the morning? Yeah, and then we'll realize, okay, this is wrong. If something is odd, like what, where is this? And it just looks weird, it might be an error. Okay, so please just ask. So look at it. Thank you.
So you need to find out what the job is about. So if it's at a hospital, what's the meeting is about? Is it for an blood test? Is that the test result? What's the procedure is? Usually we would put that on a timesheet for you so you can prepare your terminology for the meeting. The contact information of the client is important, because what if you show up and you don't know where to go, or if you don't know whom to reach out to? So the contact information of the client should be on your timesheet. You should also check for the parking instruction, because some places will offer validation for parking, some won't, or some place only offer validation if you park at a certain parking space. So read that carefully to know where you should park, and the instruction that we have to how to check in and everything else. So always print and bring your timesheet to a face-to-face job and get it filled out by the staff there, and submit your timesheet at the day of the job when you're done with it, so we can invoice our clients and we can pay you on time.
And I just wanted to read the comment that Sandy wrote. She said she prefers to accept via the app on the iPhone, because you can easily copy and paste the info to create an event. Well, what we do on the non-iPhones is that they ask you, once you accept it, you can click on, even on your computer, you can click on add to my calendar, and you can add it to an iCalendar or add it to your Google Calendar, and then it automatically adds to your calendar. You may have to copy some of the details though, but at least it adds to your calendar. And then Sandy goes, and then she goes to the LSP Ware on the computer to print the timesheet. So thank you for your comment. Thank you, Kim.
There's a couple of special clients that beside the timesheet, you need to get some documents from the client at the job so that we can submit that along with your timesheet and the invoice. So with Kaiser, there's a Kaiser form that you should get when you check in at Kaiser hospitals. Just tell them that you are an interpreter for this job, show them your timesheet, and they would print out the Kaiser form for you. Just fill it out at the end of the job along with your timesheet and submit both forms to us at the end of the day. If you go to court interpreting, then ask them at the end of your job to give you a voice, so that you can either drop it off at our office or you can mail it in to us. we need a physical hard copy voice instead of just a picture of it, because that's what our client
Okay.
require us to submit.
Okay, I'm going
along
to,
with
yeah, let me explain a little bit, because you're using the term Royce and half of them probably don't know what that means. So first of all, you should always have a timesheet with you. Some people will go to FedEx and print it out before they go. Some will stop by the office. We're very happy to print out your timesheets for you. I would say that if you're going to invest in anything, make sure you have a good phone and make sure you have a good printer, because you don't need a good printer. You have a lousy printer. It could just be a normal black and white simple printer that costs $45. But I would say that's something that you'll want to invest in. The ink can be expensive later on, but it's really worth your printing. You can, you can print from your phones even if you don't have a computer, you can always print from your phones, because nowadays the printers have Bluetooth capabilities. So if that's what you want to do, print from your phone, just get a Bluetooth capability, even if you don't have an internet. All right. And you can set it up, and please bring a timesheet. Now, sometimes when you don't have a timesheet, don't leave the job without a timesheet, because we can fax it to you, or we can fax it to the place. But when you're going to somebody's house, like like maybe geriatric care or nursing care at someone's home, or early intervention jobs, they are not going to have a fax. And the person who you're going, the provider, might not bring your timesheet, even though they should have seen it, but they may not bring it. So that means you're going to have to bring it. And at the very end, if nothing else works, then you have them sign your phone. And we'll get into that, because you're going to continue showing the phone, the video, right, Kim? But there is a way that they can sign your phone, but the signature area is not for you. It's for the provider to sign. But we don't like that. We like physical piece of paper. But what Kim is saying is that there's two places that you're going to go that you don't even use your own timesheet. You use their timesheet. Two places: all Kaiser jobs, and courts. And before you go to the court, let me know that you've actually accepted a job to the court and you feel confident enough to go. And I will explain to you where to go, who to check in with, what a Royce is, ROIS is, and why we need the originals. And if you get a parking ticket, we'll take care of it. So that's only for the court, very specific. So Kaiser has a Kaiser form. You must get it at the cashiers. You check in at the cashiers and you say, hi, I'm here for such and such. They usually give you a form, unless it's Moanalua. At Moanalua, it's the staff that gives it to you. It's the nurses that have it. So do not leave Kaiser without that Kaiser form. Simple. Okay. And you can always ask more later. Yes, Mary, you have a question?
On number 3, it says, if you have a job for East West Center, are you talking about East West Concepts
Yes,
with
this is written wrong. Yeah.
Oh
this
yeah,
is
it's
written
West
wrong.
Concept, sorry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So East West Concepts, some people sub-hire us. So we are subcontractors of another company that sends out interpreters, but they just find it easy to use our services. Sometimes they find their own interpreters, sometimes they use us, and they like to use their own timesheet. So we will always email you that information. So there's communication that we do, a lot of communication digitally. So you have to be able to read your emails, because you need to print out their timesheet. You must have East West Concepts timesheet, not our timesheet, because their timesheet actually pays mileage no matter where you live. And they have specific things that they have on there in order to invoice their clients. So we invoice East West Concepts, they invoice the clients. So please use, if you ever get one, please use their timesheet. Okay, and we can explain it later in detail when you actually get a job. Thank you.
So just visualization of your timesheet. So this is what it looked like when you receive it. Please check for first the customer part right here. It will show you if they are special customer like Kaiser, the court, or the East West Concept, so that you can prepare to get extra documents from them. Next slide, the service location. This is where you need to show up unless it says additional information right here that says you need to show up somewhere else instead of this address, then show up here instead of here. It would show telephone or video if it's an OTP or an BRI, which is over the phone or the video remote interpreting jobs. So this is how you can tell if it's a in-person or telephone or video and where you should show up. Next part you should check is this job number. Whenever you need to communicate with us regarding a job, please use this job number so we can quickly and easily access the job information and reply to your questions.
And especially if you're writing, but if you call us, say, hey guys, don't think that, say, hey, this is, this is Sue and I'm at my job. Okay, they're not going to know what you're talking about. This is Sue, I'm not at my job. I don't even know where I'm going. It's not on the second floor. They're going to say, what in the world are you talking about? And who are you? We got 100 jobs every day. How do we know who you are? So you need to say, hi guys, this is Sue, the Mandarin interpreter. And can I give you a job number? Because I'm at the wrong, something's wrong with the location. Can I give you the job number? They will type in the job number and out pops your job. Then they can look at it and see what's happening. Okay, so that's why she's saying, please, the job number is very important when you're talking with schedulers. Thank you.
Next part is the requester and their phone number. So it says the name here and this phone number. This is usually the number that you can call if you're on the job and you don't know whom to reach out to or where to go next. You can call this person, the requester. And the next one is the LEP. And you should check this part to see if there's any conflict of interest. If you know the person, if that's your neighbor, if that's your brother-in-law, sister-in-law, your friends, you know them, then please let us know. So we will have to find somebody else because you cannot do the job if you know the person. The next part on the timesheet is the service details and additional information. This will tell you the time of the job, the duration of the job, parking instruction, what the job is for. So you can prepare for it. So here it says an IEP for second grade. So you can prepare your terminology for an IEP. It can say this is IME, so whatever that says that you can. If you don't know what it is, please give us a call and we are more than happy to call the client and double check the information or get more information regarding the meeting for you so you can better prepare for the job, because we all want you to succeed on the job, to be comfortable doing the job and helping the LVP as well as the client.
And one thing is, just to let you know, when it comes to the requester and the phone number, I don't think it's on your app. So if you're looking to call them, maybe you're running late or something and you're looking to call them on your app, I don't think you can find it on your app. It has to be on your timesheet only.
Yeah, so that's another reason why you should check your timesheet and print it out to have with you on the job. Okay. Oh. The next part you need to check is your name, if it's how it's spelled correctly, the service date, which is your job date, and your phone number, just to make sure that everything we got on file is correct. Because sometimes the requester or the client will call you if there's something changed, if they need to give you something or some instruction. This is a number that they will call. So make sure that this number is the number that you have still in use, is still working. Okay, so on the day of the job, when you arrive, please ask the staff there to write in the time that you arrive. This is different from the start time. You can, like, this job is scheduled for 2 p.m. You can show up at 1:30. So immediately after you show up and you check in, please give the staff who check you in the timesheet and say, could you please write in the time now as in the arrival time area? So that would help us record your arrival time. And the reason for that will be explained later. When you start interpreting, look at your watch or look at their clock on the wall to see what time it is. Remember that time, or just write in your timesheet the time that you start working. And after you finish, again, ask the staff there to fill out the end time in this area. If you have parking, if they don't validate your parking, please keep a receipt and also write in the amount in the parking costs here. And after the staff at the job fill out the start time, end time, you can ask them to sign their name and print their name in this area. If you need to contact us or if they need to fax us the complete timesheet, so they can fax us using this fax number at the bottom of your timesheet. Okay, so after you finish the job, please submit your timesheet. And because no timesheet means no payment, we cannot invoice a client. Some clients will require us to submit a picture of your time of your complete timesheet with our invoice, and without a timesheet, they would reject our invoice, and we cannot do anything but not paying you because we don't get paid for the job.
Yeah, I want to emphasize this. I want to emphasize this. A timesheet is not just so that we know the exact times, but we want to see if you did overtime. If you did any overtime, we have to pay you overtime. If you were late, we have to minus that from the charges that we're charging and the pay. And so we need to know really the details of when you arrived, and even if the problem is, how do you enter it into the system? And I'm assuming, Kim, you're going to go back to the video. So
there's the next slide that
okay. So please turn it in by midnight. We want all of your timesheets by midnight. Yesterday, I was looking at the LSP Ware and I saw some of you didn't even have your timesheets in for the day before. And I'm like, where are these interpreters' timesheets? They went to bed without uploading their timesheets. Another day has gone by. And who knows, you might misplace the timesheet. You might forget some of the details. And so please do it that night, because it has to do with our memories and it has to do with your responsibilities. Our responsibility is to pay you for the job, but we can't pay you if you don't fulfill your responsibility. And that is to turn in the timesheet within 24 hours. And that usually we like it within for that very evening, please, before you go to bed. Otherwise, please, within 24 hours. Okay. Thank you.
So after you submit the timesheet to us, or if you do it over the phone and submit the screenshot of the cone log to us, please keep your timesheet and the screenshots until you get paid for the job, just so that if later on, maybe something happened to LSP and it's your submitted timesheet just got lost in the black hole or something, we have to email you and ask for it again. Then at least you still have it with you and you can resubmit to us. Sometimes it does happen, LSP does act up and there's a glitch or something that you thought that you submit the timesheet already, but on our end, we never receive it. So please keep it with you until you check that you got paid for the job, then please discard it. To discard your timesheet, please shred it because it's have sensitive information on them. So like the patient name, the medical record number of that person, the date of birth of that person. So it's actually very important to shred your timesheet just to destroy the information completely instead of just throw it into the trash bin.
That's on our contract. That's in our
Yeah.
contract with hospitals. They say one of the requirements is the timesheets or whatever will be shred. And I had to say yes, even though I don't know if all of my interpreters are shredding. But shredders are cheap now.
Or you just use your sister and just cut the timesheet up in like small pieces. That's fine too, or burn it, whichever ways. But just don't throw it into the trash bin, because that's not how you
And there was a
Just- yeah.
question, can you bring a blank timesheet? And yes, you can. We have blank timesheets that we can email you, and they're also in your resource file that we're going to show you later on about interpreters resources. You can always print like 10 or 20 of those and then write them in by hand. You can write in the information by hand and take those as well, or always keep a blank timesheet in your car. Thank you.
Yeah, because sometimes we will ask you like, oh, we have a job in another hour and you just finished another job. So you was like, oh yes, I will take the job, but then you have no way to print the new timesheet out for the next job. So if you have a blank timesheet, you can check the information from your LSP app and fill that out, or your timesheet from your email and just fill the blank timesheet out with that information and give that timesheet to the client when you're at the job. If you have multiple timesheets or screenshots for a job, how do you submit that? Because LSP app or LSP portal only lets you upload one timesheet per job. So in this case, you would use a photo editing app to put multiple timesheet in one collage and submit that or upload that collage to the job. Or you can just email us the 10 screenshot, the 10 timesheets you have for that job. But please put the job number in the title of the email so we know which job that is for, just to make sure that we upload it to the correct one.
Give you an example. Some people take they take the LSH timesheet and then they get the Kaiser form, and then they have the nurse or whatever sign both. And if they are signing both, you know, you want to turn them both, but you can only upload one. So if you don't know how to make two pictures into one, then just upload the Kaiser form and then email us the LSH form if that's easier for you.
I
Oh,
have a
in that case, please email us both so that we have both, just in case that your submission didn't go through
But you
OSP
can
or
see if it went through. You can actually see it on your phone. If it
right,
went
but
through.
just in case, because glitch happens.
I don't know.
I have
I
a
don't.
question.
Yes. Question?
In the past, I've had couple of times the submission of my timesheet on the app has been either not approved or rejected, and then I see the job back on my list of job on LSP Ware without any notification. Is it possible to have the staff email us and let us know why? Because we don't know
Mhm.
reason why it's back on our queue
Mhm.
of jobs, please.
Yeah,
Thank
it used to be where they do write something in there, but you have to scroll through the LSP Ware to see the notes. They're like the ones at the end.
Right,
I
but
thi- I
you
think-
have to know to look in LSP where there's, you know, if they could text us or email us and let us know, hey, take a look for the, you know, there's and you know, two
Right.
days later, I discovered that
Right.
it bounced back for some reason, but
I agree.
I never knew.
Yep.
So
I
a
agree.
heads up
You
would
did, I
be
see that.
appreciated.
Kim, what do you think? That's doable.
Yeah, so Robert is the one who will text you if we see any missing
Yudi-
timesheets,
No,
missing
Yudi
screenshot.
does it. Yudi does it. She's
Both,
the one
I think
who,
both,
oh, really?
yeah.
But
So
she never emails. Can we let Yudi know? Can you let Yudi know that
Yeah, I
please
will.
email? Okay, good. Because Robert
Yes.
usually is good at emailing, but Yudi is not, because she works like at 2, 3 in the morning. And yeah, she does. Okay,
But,
so thank you,
I-
Mary. We'll remind them to do that. Thank you.
the
Thank
reason
you.
why it usually, if you see your job bounce back, is either if there's error with the timesheet, either you submit the wrong timesheet for the job, or if like parking, you write something in parking, but then your picture got cut off, or the picture was too blurry, we couldn't see the time on that. So that's why we removed the timesheet from the job, so it would show up as a job that needs you to submit timesheet for. And that usually is the reason why you would see a job bounce back. Another reason is because LSP have technical issues and it just either don't move your job to the submitted folder, or it just didn't transfer your timesheet in the job to our end so that something happened and you see the job again. Just feel free to let us know if you see your job bounce back. But usually we will email you if we need the timesheet for that job or the screenshot for that job. Usually we would do it the day after the jobs, just to remind you that this job still need timesheet submission. Or we do that at the beginning of the month with the list of jobs that you haven't submit timesheet for, or we still need the timesheet for, because that when we start trying to bill our clients, and without your timesheet, then we cannot do our job.
But a lot
if
of
you-
times, yeah, I agree. Sometimes Yuri just puts them back. She doesn't, she just writes on there and doesn't say anything and it shows up. But I do want to say one thing, and I think it's in our video that we want to show, because I'm really going to talk faster because we're running late on time. But one thing is that the timesheets, everybody, when you submit a timesheet, and we're going to show you how to do that. And I think it's easier just to show you that you take a picture of it, and when you submit it, you hit the submit button. And if you go out of your LSP Ware, it doesn't even submit. So please keep it open after you click on the submit button. Keep it open until it disappears from your app. Then you know it was submitted. Okay, and that's very important. So yeah, I just want to show the video. I don't want, yeah.
Also
Right
for
after-
parking, please, there's a policy on timesheet parking receipt submission that we would share with you in the folder, or we could email it to you, but that will give you more details on the submission policy. So if you have parking, please write down the amount and attach the parking receipt on your timesheet. It's just
Okay, this is
the-
really important for new interpreters. So on your timesheet, it's a sheet of paper. Please put the parking on the side, and I think our video will show that. So I want you, so we're going to see that at the end of that video. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
This is what we talked about before, why we need the arrival time, because that will determine how we record the payment, or how we calculate your time that you work. So if you're early for a job, so your arrival time is earlier or the same as the scheduled start time, then your start time, then we will count your time from the scheduled start time up towards whatever time that you work, or the scheduled end time, whichever is later. But if you are late for the job, then we will use your arrival time at the beginning time. So at that time, your arrival time become your start time, and we'll start charging the client from then, start paying you from then. So it's just important to have the arrival time written on your timesheets. And let's go back to the video so we can see how you submit that timesheet.
Okay, so now I want to show you how to do this. How do
We did this
Otherwise, you can
before.
let our office know if it's missing something. And these jobs means that they were approved for payment. And so if I click on this, I can actually see the details. I can even go down to view tasks, and I can see the times and actuals. I want to make sure parking is there, for example. Otherwise, you can let our office know. If there's the details, I'm going to go up here to add some of, a lot of you are messing up. I want to show you this. Okay, so if I go in here, I want to add my actuals. So right here's the details. I'm going to go up here to add task, because I want to put in my actual time. So the first thing I can do is add my actual times. Now, if I was, when you hit add actuals, this is the scheduled time, 11 to 12. But if I arrive before 11 or at 11 and I didn't start early, I'll just leave this as 11. If I start at 11:15, I leave it at 11 because I was there on time. If I was late, I would change this to the later time. If I was early, I still leave this as 11. So this just means that I was there when I was supposed to be there. This you will always change, almost always. Now in this particular case, I'm going to upload a timesheet, and I have parking, and I want to show you the timesheet right here says I was there on time, actual arrival was before 11, The end time was 11:25, and I have $5 parking. So what I'll do here is I will change the end time to 11:25. I'll go down here and hit 25, and I click OK. So now I go back up, and you notice there's a mistake here, but it's 11 to 11:25. It changed to PM because originally it was 12 o'clock, and it was a natural PM. So now I'm going to go through here, and I have to open that up again, and I have to change it to AM. So whatever you do is make sure before you send it that everything is correct. So now you can see they're both AM 11:11. Now I have $5 parking, so I'm going to add another actual. This is where a lot of you mess up. You add another actual, and another one pops up, 11 to 12, and you see this drop-down menu. You will click on the drop-down menu, and you can choose parking. So you choose parking, and then I'm going to enter 5. So I'm going to put 5.00. Double check 5.00, that's correct. Parking, the timing is right, AM. If there's notes like patient no-show or whatever I have to write, or had to go to the lab, I can add another actual time. So let's say 11 to 11:25, then I had to wait for the surgery to get over, and I just hung out, did my own thing. I can or if I had to go down to the lab, I can add another actual time and just put 11:30 to 1 o'clock, for example. So you can add as many actuals as you want, especially on telephone calls. On telephone calls, sometimes they call you back over and over. You just add as many actuals as you need. In this case, I was there 11:25. I have no other times, and it was $5 parking. So now I'm going to click next. I have no notes to say. Okay, let me go down, click next. Now, in this case, I'm going to use my camera. I do not want to take a photo of my timesheet. I can just use my camera because then it's safer. I don't break any HIPAA laws. There's no confidentiality laws by saving things to my phone. You don't want anyone to pick up your phone and see a timesheet and see the patient's name and everything and what doctor they saw, because that's against the law. So I want to use my camera because as soon as I send it, it disappears from my phone. So today I'm going to use my camera, and then I'm going to show. So let me show you how this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, $5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture as close as I can without, ruining everything, and then take it. And then I can look at it, and it's sideways, but that's okay. I'll click OK. And now I can switch it. So I can turn it. And now it's straight up and down. I can fix it if I want. And then I can see that, and it's clear, and then I hit done. And then once that's done, I click next. So now I see the time, I see the amount, I see the timesheet. What is the signature for? A lot of interpreters think the signature is for their own signature. No one cares about your signature, sorry. This is for staff. You notice it says staff name. If you don't have a timesheet, sometimes we can use staff name. Let's say you go to somebody's home and they don't have a timesheet, you don't have a timesheet, then you write, the staff writes their name, they look at the times, make sure everything's accurate, they write their name in here by clicking on that and put their name, whatever their name is. Then they are the ones who enter. So if this is Dr. So-and-so, they just sign it like that. And then you click done. But the only reason you need that is because you don't have a timesheet. But interpreters should not be signing this. The next thing is you click submit. You do not want to sign something as yourself and then give yourself 5 stars, because that will go into your profile, but you're giving it to yourself. This should be the doctor's signature, and the doctor or the nurse or the housing or whoever is the one who says good job, and they're the ones who do that, not you. So please, interpreters, don't sign it, and you don't need to sign this unless you don't have a timesheet, okay? And at the very end, you click submit. And then it will disappear. Wait for it to disappear. Once it disappears, then you know it actually went through. If you submitted it and you just started doing other things and you got off your app, it may not have gone through. And sometimes we ask you to show us to send it again. Okay, now I'm going to tap up here and show you what else you can do with this app. Again, there's settings, my payments, log out. Again, if you look on my payments, these are the payments that we've sent. So on February 28th, we sent, January 26th, we sent, December 20th was early. We always do that early. 26, 21. Okay, so let's say I go to this one and I was paid this much money. These are all my jobs. If something is wrong, you can check it and you can let us know. But these are all former payments. All right. Now, if you go back.
Why don't we just watch it to the end, Kim?
To the end? Okay.
Yeah, just
Up
watch it to
here,
the end.
If you go into settings, you can see my profile. You don't need a signature. Availability is very important, not available. So if you go to availability, make sure you keep this updated. If you are not available Tuesdays, then you should click on here and put not available all day. Or if you're available between certain hours, you can click on that and choose the hours that you are available. And that's every Tuesday. Then you will show up, and you won't show up in our system if you're not available, okay? If you're available all day, you'll show up on our system. And then the schedulers can call you, okay? Now, if I go in here, oops, trying my best here. If I go in here and go to not available, this is if you're gonna take a break. You're gonna be gone for a certain number of days. So not available on, and you may say, oh, I'm not available on March 3rd between these 2 hours. Or you can say, I'm not available from today all the way until, you know, the 22nd. Then you click OK, and then you're not available these days. And you can change the time as well, okay? Then you click Save. And then you will not show available these days. Now, sometimes staff might call you anyway because they see you don't have a job those days, and they'll call you, and you can say, I told you I wasn't available. But anyway, the point is that you can also let us know you're not available. Okay? And then you can always log out or do whatever else. Thank you. I hope that you now understand how to use a timesheet. And one more thing, you got to turn your timesheet in by the end of the day. Make sure you do your timesheet by the end of the day. Please upload your timesheet by the end of the day. At the end of every day, it should show that the days, your jobs for today are no longer there. Thank you.
Okay, so I think that a lot of information, and if you need a refresher, then you can go through the slides here. We have step by step with pictures. So how to submit your timesheet via the app, the portal. And okay, so you want to talk about
Sure.
professionalism?
Sure, let's go ahead and make this big, and let's go ahead to the next one. All right, I'm gonna just really quickly, just our last thing that we wanted to emphasize is that, you know, your responsibility helps us do our job. You do your job, we do our job. And sometimes, you know, staff works really hard so, you know, if you want to get upset at them for making a simple mistake, it's really not worth it. We're all people. So let's just love each other and appreciate each other. And most of you do, and most everybody does. We love our interpreters. So thank you for, you know, just helping and finding things that we might need, you know, improvement on is fine. Making suggestions is a great thing. So please accept or decline a job, especially by 4:00 p.m. every day. And guess why? Because we have to call, if it's for the next day, we have to call and tell and confirm. So for example, if it's a Friday, we need to call by 4 p.m. to confirm Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And if we don't, if you accept the job on a Saturday, we can't confirm. That means on Monday, if the job is canceled, when we're calling in the morning to confirm and they say, no, we don't need the interpreter anymore, we went to another company, we can't pay you and we don't get paid. So please know that you need to accept the job by 4 so that we have time to confirm you. Cancellation jobs 48 hours in advance in case. Please, you know, if you're sick, I understand, but please try to cancel as early as possible. We get cancellations in the mornings on a job, you know, with an hour left, and that's just not right. There's one thing I want to know is that if you forget to go to a job, I don't know if it's on here or not, but one of our things is if you forget to go, and we don't even have time to go through this, Kim, but if you forget to go to a job, do you know that we charge you? We charge $20 an hour if you forget to go to a job. So please don't forget to go to a job. If you didn't show up, yeah, that's for the no-shows. And the reason is we need to pay our staff. Our staff works really hard, confirming, doing this, entering all the jobs, doing all this stuff. They at least, you know, we need something to pay them. So please don't forget to go to a job. And if you do, that's what happens, $20 an hour. So we'll talk about that later. But if you are assigned to a video and you don't have the video, please ask us, what's the video? And don't ask us 5 minutes ahead of time. So make sure that you're ready 5 minutes ahead for any kind of video remote or any kind of phone that is scheduled. All right. And we need to make sure that, you know, you try to contact the provider if they don't answer you. So let's say you're scheduled for a phone call. Well, within 5 or 10 minutes, you have to know what number you're going to call. We're encouraging our interpreters to call them directly, or you can call LSH and they can call for you. Okay. If you're going to be late, we want you to call LSH, not the provider. We need to know you're going to be late. You may try to call like the NICU department or some kind of department that puts you on hold forever. And then you got to push some numbers and you don't even know how. So we ask that if you're going to be late, you call LSH and our staff will handle it. Because if they call us and say, hey, where's the interpreter? You might have talked to one nurse and the other nurse or the other doctor is the one who's trying to look for you. And then they're calling us and say, the interpreter's not here. And we're like, we don't know where the interpreter is because she didn't tell us she was going to be late or he didn't tell us he was going to be late. So then it makes us look really bad. So we're asking that you let us know if you're going to be late. We will contact the provider. And if they say we don't need them anymore, we'll let you know. You could just turn around and go home. All right. So, but calling the provider is good if you don't have a phone number or a video or whatever, or you could talk to LSH as well. Now, one thing is I'm under 4B, take a screenshot of the attempted call to the provider. For example, if you've been waiting 10 minutes and they haven't called you yet, and it's an over the phone job, you call and there's some, you know what, we don't need you. The mother's gone, the parents are gone, so we're just going to cancel. You need to take a screenshot of that call and upload it as if it were a timesheet. All over the phone appointments, if it's even if it's not pre-scheduled, all phone appointments where you interpret it on the phone, you need to, when you're finished, you look at the information of the call and you take a screenshot because it shows the time you started and how long it lasted. And that's what you use to upload your times. And then you upload that screenshot instead of a timesheet. You do not use a timesheet for video calls. You don't have to upload a timesheet for phone calls. You upload your screenshot for phone calls. If your video, like a Zoom call, was on your phone, you probably will have that information. But most video calls, there is no screenshot. There are no screenshots for video calls. You just have to be very honest and upload the time immediately. And do not forget to do that. Okay? So there are no screenshots for video calls. And you can put in the notes, oh, nobody called me, but I talked to the doctor and I uploaded my screenshot of my call. Okay.
Also, if you don't live in Hawaii, so your
Right.
screenshot of your call log will show some different times in a different time zone. Please note that in the notes section. For example, if you live in California, just put like time, Californian time in the notes section. So when we check your screenshot, we know why it doesn't match with the scheduled time that we show.
Very good. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, let's put California time. Next. All right. What is it expected of you? If you're running late, you call LSH. We will call the provider. Number 2, submit your timesheets and parking receipts and other required by the end of the day. Number 8, note on the job visit, note any issues that happened. Number 9, wear your interpreter badge on the job. Number 10, follow the proper dress code. If your job is a home visit, you got to bring your own timesheet with you and check your timesheet to know where to park. It's very important. And this is what I suggest. If you're going to somebody's home, make sure you know where you're going to meet the provider. And you should have some kind of cell phone number on your timesheet. If you don't, let us know, because it'll say so-and-so is going there. This is the phone number. So then you can call ahead of time, or you can text them and you can say, hey, I'll meet you in the front or whatever. Or when you arrive, you call them. Hi, this is the interpreter. I'm here in front of such and such. And you can also call the provider and say, do you know anything about parking? Because they didn't know. And so the provider's the one, I'm not the provider, the one on the timesheet that the therapist or the nurse, whoever is going to the place, their name should be on there. So, okay. So just, you can go ahead and contact them directly for parking information and for where to meet them when you get there and what time. Next.
Okay, so this part,
And-
we will have some, we have a FAQs about payments, and we will share with you on the Dropbox document. Do you want me to show the documents, Sue, or just briefly talk through it?
I don't want to talk through it, but you have to go through this about payments. You can read it on your own. It's very, very self-explanatory. You can show the doc if you'd like.
So
I don't think I
it's-
can upload it here.
I have it on my
Chat.
part,
You can try to
so
chat with them as well.
hold on. Mhm.
Wonder if I can. There is, I'll try to send it here, Dropbox.
Oh, do you see the news screen with the payment Q&A?
Yep.
Yeah, so you will have access to this document. Is basically the FAQs payments. So how do you get paid? How often do you get paid? So we pay once a month at the last week of the month, and that payment will cover jobs that you do between the 16th of the previous month up to the 15th of the current month. So how do you get paid? How do I know when I get paid? How do you know what you get paid for? So that the payment summary. So everything about payments, you can find it on this document. We will share the document with you after this meeting.
Very good.
Okay, so let's go back to the slide. We only have a couple slide left, and
All right,
we're
great.
done.
All right, I wanted to show something, resources for interpreters. Okay,
Yeah.
did you want to show that?
Yeah, so we have a folder that we have the resources for you. If you have this slide, then you can click on this picture and it will lead you to the actual Dropbox folder that we have the resources for you. So it basically have the plank timesheet, it have the training, it has the what's that, the payments, frequently asked questions. It also have the resources if you want to study for your medical certification, if you need some information. So like we have some forms that our interpreter have shared with us. You can use that to prepare for your meeting. So it's all in the resources for the interpreter. If you need to contact us, anything else about the resources?
No, go ahead. I'm going to put the link in our right now. I'm going to give you guys the link. So you should take that link and put it on your computer. on your
Bookmark, you just
phone,
bookmark it. Yeah.
Or yeah, well, you can bookmark it, but I think people forgot how to look at the bookmark. So I just wanted to say that you should put it even on your computer on a notepad, but put that link somewhere so you will remember where that link is in order to go there. So here we go. Yeah, so you can just look at that link and please copy that link and put it somewhere.
So in the chat of this Zoom meeting, if you open the chat, there's Sue just posted the link. Okay, so next one, how do you contact us? So we are available for you, so just don't be hesitate to reach out. If there's anything with job related, if you want to submit your job documents, you need some troubleshooting, emergency, please call us. This is our number. This is our email. If you want to email us your timesheet or your parking receipt, this is the email that you should email to. if you are a new interpreter and there is some documents that we need from you, you probably receive it from either Fate or Kay, and then you can reply to the email. Or if you have any question with the onboard process, you can email them. If you have any questions about your payment, please email these two addresses. Both come to me, so I will check and reply to your emails. At the end of the year, usually in January, you will receive your W-9 from us if you make at least $600 with us the previous fiscal year. So if you have any question about W-9, if you think you should get a W-9 but haven't received it in January, please email Irene at this email address, and we will help you with the W-9. Or maybe you didn't make enough money with us, so you won't have any W-9. So yeah, we are here, and we hope that you find us helpful. And any question, just email us and let us know. So thank you, and we glad that you joined us, and we hope to see you grow with LSH.
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to say. I just can't remember. Are there any questions about anything? Because we went really fast, and I know that there's a lot of stuff to learn, especially for the new people. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Sue.
Yeah.
I have a question. Here in Maui on the Kaiser's clinic, they're using different dates on the bilingual form from Kaiser. They have different dates. And I just wonder if it's okay, like if I go to Lahaina clinic, they use 2008, for example. If I do Kihei, it will be like 2000. And if I do either Maolani or Wailuku over here, it will be like 2018. So my question is, which one is the latest form that I should use, first of all? And the second question is, surprisingly enough, is a lot of people in Kaiser, they're not aware of the form. And like, the question like, I supposed to fill out that, or what is the form? Where do you get that from? All those questions. So I just wonder how come they are not in sync? We're not on the same page.
Yes, they're not at all. Okay, so first of all, in the outer islands, they're not used to using interpreters very well. There's so many new people, and they just don't know what interpreters are supposed to do. So you actually have to train them. And you can say, you guys you need an interpreter form. It'll say interpreter, and maybe you could take a picture of the form they should have. If they have the old form, go ahead and use it. It doesn't matter. Just use whatever they have. And then let us know that, hey guys, these guys are using such old form. And then I could tell the ones in charge of the interpreting and the interpreting forms are here in Oahu. And they may not even know that there is such a thing. So again, they don't know much at all about interpreters on the other island. So feel free to train them. Say, hey, did you know that we work for that? We're available. We have many languages, and you can call us anytime. And so it's just a matter of really training them.
Yeah, I usually give them the LSH business card. One thing.
Excellent.
And the other thing is, every time I go to Kaiser, I always ask for a few extra copies of this form. And when I go to a clinic that they don't have it, or they have an old one, I tell them, hey, this is the latest one. This is the latest form. This is 2000 versus the 2008 or 2009 kind of thing. You'd be surprised, even though now a lot of people say like, oh, where's that form from? What's the new form? Where you get it from? Where can I get those forms from? And I go, wow, and it put us as an interpreter in a kind of awkward situations, like we don't know what we're doing. When it's the other way around, they don't know.
Exactly. So next time, just let me know, so that what we can do is that we can tell the people here in Oahu, and if you could get a name and some kind of contact, I can let them know that they really need forms. Please talk to them directly.
Yeah, because I would like to know what's the latest form, because the latest I have seen it is 2012.
Oh, I have no idea. Even over here, the Moanalua and the Waianae, and depending on where you go, they all use different form. Yeah, they just print out a bunch and then they never use them. And so they just keep them forever and ever.
All right, but it's still legal. That's I
Yeah,
guess that's what I wanna make
absolutely. Absolutely. It's their own form and it's fine. And if they don't have the form, it's okay. Just let them sign LSH's form. So bring your own form and that's fine. As long as there's some kind of form and we can prove that somebody there signed your form, then it happened. Very good. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Leonardo.
I appreciate that.
Okay, Eva Gold, you had a question.
Okay, hi, Dr. Su. I have
Uh-huh.
two questions happened yesterday.
Okay.
First case with Lee Ho, and then I checked in early in the Kaiser Honolulu at the Pecoy. I went up the third floor at the, let me see, 2:26 p.m.
Okay.
and then was empty over there, only by myself. All of a sudden, I saw one nurse coming. Because they all locked the door, I don't see any person, any people inside the door.
Can I ask what time your appointment was for?
My appointment 2:40 p.m.
Okay, good. So you arrived at least 15 minutes ahead. Good. Very good.
Yes, yes.
And when you checked in downstairs at the cashiers and you said, "Hi, I'm the interpreter for this patient." And then they gave you the form. And
Yes.
I always ask the question, has the patient checked in yet?
Yes.
Okay. And then you'll know whether or not when you go upstairs, whether
Yeah.
you can look around. If the patient's not there, we start getting worried.
Yes.
In other words,
And- Yes. And then, they close the door, you cannot get into the
That's right.
area.
That's right.
Then all of a sudden I saw a nurse come in. So I right away ran to her. I said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm the Cantonese Chinese interpreter." I showed her the badge. I said, "I'm waiting for this patient. Can you let me know he's here or not?" And then she getting so grumpy.
Yeah.
She's grouchy. Maybe in the bedtime, I asked the wrong time. She
Mhm.
said, "Oh, if you want to know the patient's in, you have to go to downstairs to check
Yeah.
with it." Yes.
Yes,
and then-
it's the
yeah,
cashiers. It's the cashiers where you ask. Don't ask them. They don't know anyway.
Yeah.
And the problem with Kaiser is that there's many, many rooms. So you go to the third floor, they've got like 6 rooms around there and there's no receptionist. And so
Yeah.
therefore you got to find the room with the doctor's name outside.
Yes, I
the
did.
room.
Yes, I did.
And then, but you have to ask the cashiers downstairs, have they checked in yet? And if they say yes, then you come up and say, I was told that my patient has already checked in, but there's no one here, so I'm not sure if I'm late or if they've started without me.
Okay.
And
Then
then, yeah,
I asked her, I said, "Would you please check for me this patient?" I show her the timesheet. And then
yeah.
she said, "Can you check for me? He's in or not? In or not?" In my
So why
language.
did you do that? Is it because the patient had checked in already? Or you didn't know?
Patient already checked in.
Okay.
And then the nurse told me, you have to wait outside here to wait until to call the patient's name. Then I wait over here by the doctor's name, the name tag over there. I watch the door. Every elevator has been. Then I have to look at the patient. They walk in because it's a mole on the neck. I will check with it. So I keep waiting. I keep waiting until 2:00. Because I got yelled in the beginning, I be chicken to ask another nurse. I keep waiting until over 2:00. So I be, the patient, if no show at after 2:00, that means you are absent.
But you said it wasn't a no-show. You said that you asked the cashiers and the cashiers
They are
said,
show up. Yeah, they already signed in. So after 2:15, I saw the nurse come out from the doctor's office door. I right away to catch her, another nurse. Okay.
good.
I said, "Excuse me, I'm waiting for this patient for a long time, about an hour. Would you please let me know this patient show up or not?" He said, "Oh, let me check for you." And then he went inside, and a couple minutes later, maybe almost 5 minutes, come out another nurse, the real nurse come out. "Oh, your patient already gone."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then what happened?
He said that he write on my papers, the patient stated he didn't need service, SIM
Oh,
without.
I see.
So
Okay.
I
Okay.
was so,
I would be very upset. Okay. Let me tell you what to do next time.
mhm,
Okay. Everybody, Kaiser has its own issues because they're trying to save money. They have done away with a lot of people who've worked there many, many years. So what they're doing is that, at least here in Oahu, that you check in and then you go and you wait outside of a room, and that's it. Now, what we can do is you can call us saying, Sue, I am here. It starts in 5 minutes. I've been waiting 15 minutes. I don't see the patient. I know he's checked in. What can we do? And then our staff will call the Kaiser call center. We can't even call the OBGYN or the family doctor. We can't do that. We call the call center. They call or they text the
mhm,
nurse in charge saying,
mhm,
the interpreter is waiting outside. What's going on?
mm.
And then the nurse will come out and get you.
Oh,
Or they will tell us, oh, the patient came an hour early and has left already, and they will let us know. So for Kaiser special things like this, please call LSH staff and they will call and find out for you.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you should never
understand.
wait that long. I would never
Okay.
have waited. You're very patient. So
Yeah.
just to let everybody know, sometimes people ask, is there a specific waiting time? And after 15 minutes, we can all leave. And the answer is no. We do not have a policy where you could just leave after 15 minutes. No. If you're hired for the hour, you technically can be there for at least the hour, right? But in this kind of situation, we do not want to waste your time. We hate that. I hate it as an interpreter. That's just a waste of my time. So what we do is that we need to find out what's going on, and if it's a non-Kaiser and you checked in, let's say you're at like fetal diagnostics or something at Capulani, then there is a reception desk. Then after 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, I will walk up to the desk and I will say, hi, I'm just wondering, did the patient check in yet? If they say no, I say, did you want to call them and I'll be happy to interpret for you over the phone? Did you want to call them and I'll be happy to interpret for you over the phone? And sometimes I've had reactions, we don't do that. And I've had other reactions saying, oh yeah, sure. And then they call, and sometimes they say, oh sure, you call no, you can call and I'll be happy to interpret. Sometimes they get them on the phone and I realize they don't understand English, they just hand me the phone. Then I say, hi, I'm calling from Kaiser, or I'm calling from wherever I am, and we're wondering, are you coming in today? And then if they say, oh, I'm on the freeway, and I, where? Oh, you're in Mililani. He said he's in Mililani, and then you can switch to he said, she said. He said he's in Mililani. Okay, and what is he coming? So he's not coming. So you're not coming there. Oh, he said he forgot. Okay, we're gonna have to reschedule. We're gonna have to reschedule, and then you can help them right then and there do the rescheduling. Kaiser usually doesn't do that, but most other places will. So for Kaiser, yeah, they just say after 15 minutes, they won't wait any longer unless it's a very important surgery or something like that. Then they will wait. So again, if staff tells you guys you can leave, then you can leave. If staff asks you to stay and you have another appointment afterwards, then you need to talk to Language Services Hawaii. If it's a 9 to 10 o'clock appointment and it's a surgery or something's going on and they ask you to stay and you have a 10 o'clock or you have a 10:30 elsewhere, you can't stay, but we'll think of something. You call LSH and you say they're asking us to stay, or you text us, hey guys, it's not over. What do I do? We might text you back and say, you need to leave. You must get to the next appointment. We have no one to take the next appointment's place. That means you need to warn them with 15 or 20 minutes ahead of time. Excuse me, doctor, I know you guys are running late or whatever. I just want to let you know that I do have a 10:30 appointment at another location and I will need to leave on time. You don't leave early. That's not fair because you're getting paid to be there. But you do say, I will need to leave on time today. I'm sorry. Or
Mhm.
I can stay 10 minutes only afterwards. I
Mhm.
can't stay any
Mhm.
longer. So
Yeah.
as long as you let them know, then you can leave. But if it's an important appointment, you don't want to leave. Something's urgent is happening. They may be having, a heart attack. You got to go to ER with them or whatever. And you can ask LSH, you can text them, can you guys get another person to take my 10:30 place if I stay here and help the patient longer? Otherwise, like this week, we got an email saying, hey, the interpreter was scheduled for 10:30. Then we were informed that the interpreter previous appointments going overtime. Then you get a new person and then everything starts 5 minutes late. And then, and then all of a sudden they get upset. How come? Because I scheduled somebody and why can't I have somebody? And so sometimes customers get upset. So please ask LSH what to do. And if you have to leave, you have to leave. It's just that simple.
Yes.
So can I
Yes.
jump in?
I always
Absolutely.
call to the office.
Very good. Absolutely, Sandy, you can jump in. Absolutely.
Okay, this has been happening an awful lot with Kaiser, that I'll get to the cashiers, especially at Pensacola or at Moanalua, and they'll say, oh, patient canceled online. And so when that happens, LSH is not notified.
Right.
So, I mean, I know
And
what
the cashiers don't want to give you a form and they don't want to sign your form.
they'll sign it.
Right. Oh, they will. Okay, good.
I'll ask them. I said, my agency wasn't notified. Can you just sign me as, patient canceled?
Yeah.
And
And you
they'll
give them the
oblige me.
LSH form?
No, they just they'll
They
just
make-
print out the Kaiser form and they'll
Okay,
do
good.
that.
Excellent.
that's-
That's all.
Fine.
That's all.
But I don't know if this is stepping out of line, but usually if I see that patient later on, because a lot of these are regular patients I've been working with for a long time, I'll tell them in the future, if this happens, and you have to cancel at the last minute, can you call the actual department and let them know that you won't be able-
No, speak
No?
English. No, speak
Yeah.
English.
So I tell them, because otherwise I'll come, because the agency isn't advised, and I'll show up and then I'm told that you're not coming. And so then they get all embarrassed. And so I said, I know it's going to take you out of your way and it's going to be harder, but can you please, or get your daughter or somebody to call the department and say that we're
Okay.
canceling
Okay.
and we're canceling ortho. So please let LSH know.
Right.
So the
And they can
interpreter-
always ask for an interpreter on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Absolutely. Good questions, guys. Any other questions? Yeah, these are questions you're going to run into all the time and you don't know what to do. You just call LSH staff. Another thing that happens a lot is surgeries, when they say, oh, can you stay for the surgery? And you're like, wait, I'm not scheduled for the post-op. I'm here for the pre-op. We try to keep the same person, but sometimes we're busy. We just cannot, or you've already have another place to go. So you can just say, don't worry, we have a really good interpreter coming, I'm pretty sure. And I can call the agency to make sure. Yeah. And if they want you to stay longer, you just call the agency and tell them. And then just whatever LSH decides, you just do, just follow. There's many reasons. Any other questions? These are great questions.
I have a question, Sue.
Sure.
Do you pay for mileage?
Very good question. Okay, mileage is only, that's a very good question. And this should be answered in the Q&As. But when this is a really good question. We should have talked about this. When it's a 10-mile radius from the office, we don't charge mileage, and it's a 1 hour minimum in person. Once it's beyond 10-mile radius, we charge a 2 hour minimum and mileage, and we pay 2 hours and mileage. So many times you will get a job in Pearl Ridge, let's say Straub Pearl Ridge, and you live in Pearl Ridge. Well, you're going to get mileage from our office round trip. And you're going to get 2 hours, but it's only a 1 hour appointment. And that's why we can schedule you sometimes for other jobs within that hour, even though you're getting 2 hour pay. So, so hopefully if you live over there, you will get mileage when you take jobs there. But when you come into town, you're not getting the mileage because it's from our office. So the reason we did that is so that we could take over, so that it's because of the competition. We couldn't do it. Our competition wasn't doing it, and we wouldn't have been hired if we did it. So that's what's happening. Now, court always pays mileage, and that's a different ball game. Yeah, but for most of our clients, we don't do mileage. It's a 1 hour minimum if it's within 10-mile radius of Kaimuki.
Is West Concept do pay you mileage
Yeah, East
regardless
West
of where you
Concept's
live?
always, yeah. Anybody else?
I
Yes,
have
Sue.
a question.
Okay,
And
let's ask Leonardo first, and then we'll go to Eva Gold. Go
Okay.
ahead, Leonardo.
Oh, thanks. For us on the other islands, how that thing works.
Oh, okay. Other
the-
islands, if we chart, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, I forgot about you. Other
right.
islands is if you, it's from your home, your particular home. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you are, yeah, if you have to go to like,
Lahaina.
yeah, Lahaina, we pay
Or Kihei.
mileage, round trip mileage from your home.
Okay.
Yeah. And we need permission if it's over 100 miles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Eva Gold, do you have a question?
okay, at the Thursday, I have a double schedule
Mhm.
because when I check into the Strop Hospital building,
Mhm.
and then when I check in, they told me that the same company has an interpreter already checked in.
Oh, okay, that's our mistake.
Yeah,
It
so-
probably, was it like Aloha Care? Sometimes every single day, we're checking for duplications. We're looking for dupes. And the way we look for dupes is we look according to the patient. Sometimes the mother baby unit will hire somebody for the mother, and then somebody else will call and hire and put it under the baby's name. And then we have two interpreters for the same job. So that's just hard to help. But whenever that happens, you stop and you call Language Services Hawaii, and you just let the interpreter, whoever it is, just go. But you call Language Services Hawaii because it could be an interpreter error, and it could be our error. So always call us. Is that for last Thursday? Did you let us know about it?
Just day before.
Did you let
I
LSH know?
wrote down on the
No,
time
you
sheet.
don't leave, you do not leave, you do not go anywhere, you stay there until the problem is solved. You immediately call LSH. What do I do? I'm not leaving until I know what to do. Because
Okay.
it might have been that you have an old timesheet and your new timesheet shows a different patient, same time. So make sure you do not leave anywhere until the problem is solved. Okay, everybody?
Okay. Okay.
Thank
But
you.
the interpreter is from our company.
It doesn't matter. It might be a different kind of mistake.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Stu. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm just telling
Appreciate
everybody, just
Okay.
call, don't go anywhere. I've had
Okay,
people,
thank you.
Mary told me, Sue, I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting for your instructions. And I'm like, okay, don't leave. And then I had to call and find out what's going on, and because there was a different interpreter there, not from our company. Yeah, so very good. And we have to look into that. Yeah. And text us, Eva, if you could text us like even today, job number, blah, blah, blah. When I arrived, somebody else was there so that we can look into that. Thank you. Anybody else? Some of you are very confused because you haven't had many jobs yet. So you don't know East-West concept. You don't know a lot. You don't know court. We're never going to send you to court if you're new, unless you are a court interpreter. Anybody else have any questions? If you are uncomfortable after you look at the job and you take a job and say, oh my God, this is a heart cardiology, something, I can't handle this. Let us know. Don't take it. We'll switch you with somebody else and give you the physical therapy and let somebody else take the cardiology. Okay, very good. Anybody have any tips for new interpreters, by the way? Study, 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 study. Please prepare. If you know you're going to cardiology, just type in, and you don't even know what it is. It's just follow up. And we couldn't get any information about it. We should get the information. You should make us get more information. Sometimes we cannot. So then if it's an insurance company, they like Aloha Care, and you end up at cardiology at Straub, they will not give us any information because of the HIPAA laws. But people, what you can do is type in and say, common issues with the heart, cardiology, common issues with cardiology. And you can see the main issues with the heart, and you can write the terminology down, and you're interpreting your translation of those words down, and bring a glossary with you. It could be anything from atrial fibrillation to a hole in the heart if they're a baby to, whatever, to, stents or high blood, whatever. So please make a glossary, and then you just make your glossary longer and longer and longer the more that you go. And and the more new words that you find. Okay, any questions? We're way over time. I really apologize. Any tips, anything? All right, no, thank you all. I want to say our LSH family loves all of you. We're so happy to have new interpreters. If you have any questions, you can call me directly. You can call our staff and say, hey, what's going on? How come I'm never getting any jobs? That's fine, ask. And they may say, what? We have you as unavailable. You never changed your availability. And then we just figure out what's going on. So thank you, everyone. All right, keep up the good work. Anything, let me know and we'll share. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.